Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of May the 1st, 2016. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here and happy May to everybody out there. This week we have a new moon taking place in the sign of Taurus. So it's really all about this new moon. And what is a new moon? It is the meeting of the sun and the moon in the sky. So these two planets meet. They're really luminaries. So these two luminaries meet in the sky once every 28 and a half days. And when they meet, it is the new moon. It's fresh starts, it's new beginnings. And whatever the moon does, the sun does as well in terms of the types of celestial conversations they are having, sometimes more precisely than other times, as is the case this week. What is being highlighted now is all the good that this new moon is promising. And there is a certain precision and a certain exactness and a certain power that preciseness of these conversations is granting us. So this is supremely positive. This new moon and the sun this week are having supremely harmonious conversations with Jupiter and Pluto, setting up what is called a grand trine in Earth. And then you add to this a supportive connection with Neptune, adding a sense of magic and faith into the mix. You put all this together, and it does suggest a few things. One is, I really like the way that this is going to start highlighting for us some of the blessings that this celestial conversation between Jupiter and Pluto that's been taking place since the fall last year. So these planets, Jupiter and Pluto, have been dancing in a supremely harmonious, rare conversation. They had an exact moment last fall. Another one took place in March, and coming up next month in June, they will have their last exact, precise conversation. Not to speak this way again for many years to come. And this conversation is one of luck, yes. It's one of wealth. It's one of meaningful change, positive changes from the inside out that change our practical reality. Both planets are in earth signs right now. And also, I do think that this is helping us all in our own way heal our relationship with work. So however you understand that, do you like the work that you're doing? Do you feel like you're giving your work your best? Do you feel like you could be doing something more rewarding? Where is it that change could be had so that the work that you're doing is, yes, a source of prosperity, but also a source of happiness, a source of purpose? Where is it that change can be had so that work becomes a reflection of some deeper meaning, some deeper truth, or some deeper optimism playing out? So this is a lesson that all of us in some way are engaged in right now in our own unique journeys. You add a Taurus new moon and you add this grand trine. So it does a couple of things. One is, it starts that process of all these good things set to happen and that have been happening. It starts this final meeting. It sort of kicks off the energy of the final meeting that is to take place later in June. So that final meeting will take place in June. The energy building towards it starts now. And one of the reasons is this new moon. And we have the faith to believe that things can be better. You add to this, it's the Taurus new moon. It is a Taurus vibe. And what that means is, it's not just about the work. It's not just about defining success for ourselves, but there's a part of this that also has to do with prosperity and our unique relationship to prosperity and how we understand that. What do we define as abundance in our own lives? That's also going to come up for consideration as well. So there will be conversations collectively. We'll be talking about wealth and money and what money represents, what's worth the price, what isn't. That's going to be a big part of the collective conversation taking place now. And all of us in our own individual journeys as well will be thinking about these exact things. You add to this, Mercury is retro, okay? So Mercury's retro, so it's a good time to reconsider things. So it's not necessarily a time to be like offering new products. Like I said last week, you don't want to be doing something like that, but to refining your way forward in terms of what your offerings are, maybe relaunching certain products sometimes can work really well given the nature of the product that is. So you may want to explore that a little bit further. That can also work really well during a retrograde season. And it is retrograde season that is particularly highlighted right now. And that is because we have like a good half of the major planets that are used in astrology right now are retro. So we do have Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars. So 5 of the major planets are right now retro. It doesn't happen that often to have this many planets retro, and it's really not going to last very long because it is going to be next week that Jupiter goes direct. So what this energy ultimately says is reflection. It says to reconsider. It says to go within. And with these celestial conversations taking place now with Jupiter, with Neptune, with Pluto, these planets also have an energy of reflection. They have an energy of getting to the source, of having faith even when there isn't necessarily evidence for it, of belief. These planets affirm the inner process that is an integral part of our lived reality. But it's earth energy. So the emphasis is also on making sure that what's happening within is supporting the type of life that we actually like to live, the type of prosperity, the type of work, and different facets of our earthly experiences. There's a sincere desire now, not only to improve it, but to understand it more deeply for its significance in our lives. And this isn't about spiritualizing anything that you don't want to. That's not what it's saying at all. What it's saying is to have a right relationship that you can be at peace with, a right relationship with your life, with your external reality, your external understanding. But also what I really like about retrogrades in general is that they help us to get honest with ourselves. They really help us to be the change that we wish to see in the world. And personally, I really love retrogrades in general because I think that they help us make wiser choices. Now, again, you don't want to be jumping into something brand new, and especially where it has to do with gathering information. That's where you want to be a little bit mindful because the information you get may not necessarily be what you think it is. So you may get one information, the person giving it might be completely earnest, and then you go back after the retrograde is over and it's actually something totally different, whether it's changed now, whether it is that the person now has different information or there's someone new there giving you the information. All of this becomes possible. And this is also true with a variety of different things right about now, in that whatever your expectation is, just be mindful to go a little bit with the flow, especially when you are trying to ascertain truths, messages, communications. And when communications do come through, remember there are lots of ways to interpret it. It's important to give people the benefit of the doubt. But what I love about retrogrades is that it allows us to ask ourselves, to take that moment to say, okay, how else could this be interpreted? Okay, what's really happening in this moment? What am I really feeling? Like, what's really going on? What's this sensation? What's this feeling? What's motivating me? What change do I desire to see? What change needs to happen in me? That is the powerful, powerful question that arises whenever there's Mercury retrograde. And especially that is the case now. Whatever change we desire to see in the world, the universe is going to say it's about looking at yourself now. Now, sometimes it's not about that so much. Sometimes it's about, okay, do what you got to do. I absolutely believe that. And the sky sometimes supports that. There are a lot of times, though, that do say reflect, change within. And there are also times that the retrograde can help us with that says take intelligent action and consider all the different ways in which not only that this could play out, but the different motivations that are bringing you to this moment. Consider the different strategies you can take and what type of outcomes you could garner from that. What I really love about retrogrades is they help us to be honest with ourselves. And that is incredibly valuable, especially when we're going out into the world wanting to manifest certain outcomes. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's always wise to make sure that you are checking in with yourself and staying as honest with yourself as possible. If you're engaged in any projects, and especially if they've been around for a while, and especially if they have any kind of financial significance, this can be an incredibly valuable time where that right insight puts you on a path of absolute power. The change, getting that right perception into what truly needs to change. If things are going to go in a more prosperous direction, becomes that much more clear to us now. And this is thanks to this new moon and all these wonderful retrograde planets, offering us that second insight to see ourselves more clearly, to see ourselves more deeply, and to see ourselves a lot more lovingly as well. Thank you so much for watching the introduction. I'm truly so grateful for it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, thumbs up. It means so much. Thank you. I love our interactions. Please keep them coming. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, my website, nadiyashah.com, and the YouTube comments as well. Sometimes I'm asked questions that are a little bit more personal, that have to do with your unique situation. If that's the case, please do consider a personalized horoscope, where I can do just that. Look at your unique birth chart and answer your specific questions. And you can learn about that on my website, nadiyashah.com. Two lovely announcements this week. The first is Rubicon Conference, the Rubicon Online Astrology Conference, rubiconastro.com. I will be speaking next Saturday, May the 7th. I will be speaking at that conference online. It's a webinar, web conference. I will be speaking there, and my talk is Karma and Love, and it's looking at the role of the nodes in astrology and relationship astrology. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through the different planets and looking at essentially what's called synastry astrology, and how we can take one person's planets and how they're communicating with the other person and vice versa, and what that says about that relationship. And specifically when we look at the nodes are what I call, they are very powerfully symbolizing your unique journey towards greater love and greater wisdom. And they have to do with that deeper soul purpose for this lifetime. And when you see, you're looking at one person's planets communicating with the other, or vice versa, and you're seeing one person's planets activating the other person's nodes, it is the node person. Okay, so for students of astrology out there, the node person is having this awareness, is being inspired as to that unique journey towards greater love and greater wisdom. And sometimes people come along and they do that by making us aware of where we've been. And some people understand that differently. Some people say that's more about, some people, when they trigger your south node, as it said, to them it is more about the familiar. Maybe this life. Maybe some people also consider the south node being triggered powerfully a past life connection. The north node being triggered is more about meeting somebody and having a connection with someone who in some way helps you to align yourself with that intention that the soul set for this lifetime. They make an important impact on your life. They show us where it is that the soul desires to go, how it is, and in some way your experiences with them help you to embody greater love and greater wisdom in some way. They bring blessings. They open a karmic door from which blessings enter. And in some way, they become people who impact you in important ways, who bless your life. And regardless of how long a relationship may last, we are going to talk about that, looking at longevity as well. But regardless of how long, it's when we meet people where our nodes are triggered. That means that the karmic connection is there and is being triggered as well. So we're going to be looking at that. I'll be going through the different planets and looking at what it means when they are speaking to the nodes. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And there'll be some surprise announcements as well as we move towards the end of the webinar. So again, that's being organized by, and it's totally being done through the Rubicon Conference, rubiconastro.com. If you want to register, if you want to learn more about that, please do visit their website. And I really hope to meet you online and meet you there. Quite a few people have signed up already, so thank you so much. I'm sure it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to learning more, sharing more about this, specifically this technique that I've used for a whole lot of years in my practice, and something that I found really useful, not only when you look at romantic relationships, but parent and child relationships, sibling relationships, boss relationships of all kinds. It says something to us about why it is this person has come into our life and how we can use this connection to become that much better. So looking forward to meeting you guys on RubiconAstro.com. Second announcement, it is a new moon, which means an artist being featured. And this background is called Strawberry Down. And it is created by, the artist is Janice Lingerie. And I loved this. I just like, it's just so powerful. And I loved the red. I loved the nourishment being symboled, the life being symboled. And I just thought that given the Taurian vibe, right? And Taurus is such an energy of the earth, the Taurus new moon, the energy of the earth. And to have something, to have a fruit be the background of this week, I thought was just perfect. If you go on to Janice's website, janicelingerieart.com, you'll see she has amazing art there. It's got these like sort of impressionist influences in it. I really loved it. And a lot of her themes are nature oriented. They're of food, of outdoors, of animals, cat. This beautiful portrait of a cat I really loved on her website as well. And it's just such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure to find these gems of artists out there and to get to share them with you, like Janice's work here, to have artists out there like Janice bless my work. I'm truly so grateful for it. That's janicelingerieart.com. Thank you so much once again. Of course, you being here is everything. Everything I put into the world is to affirm in the world that the universe is wise and loving. The universe is wise and loving. Everything I do is about sharing that. And you being here in this moment allows me to do just that, to live my mission. And in some way, my intention with these videos is that it infuses your life with hope, with inspiration, and with this very sacred reminder. The universe is wise and loving. I believe it. I've seen it again and again, and I believe it's true for you as well. I believe it's a universal truth for all of us, and you being here allows this truth to be affirmed in the world. For that, I am truly grateful. So how all this wonderful stuff this week, this brilliant new moon this week, speaks to you and your sign is coming up right now. Hello, fabulous Aries. This week, this new moon is going to bless you financially. Of all the signs out there, you are the one who is going to be most financially blessed. And what that means is opportunity, new prospects showing up for you. Ideas, yes, but I do think also key meetings and tangible progress set to be made. There's lots of cosmic support now to only create greater prosperity for yourself and only to feel that much richer going forward. I also think that if you are a person who makes your money utilizing any area of inspiration, if your work relies on inspiration of any kind, you can see now how to tap into that for your greater prosperity. So you can use this energy in so many different ways, but particularly people who either work with energies, working with artistic vibes, creative vibes, can do exceptionally well with this energy. But I also think people who work with things that are very like our bodies, right? Healthcare. And also people who work with the land, like landscaping and gardening. All of these very blessed, but every Aries out there should find lots of benefits to be had, lots of financial progress to be made under a sky like this. Where it comes to matters of heart, we also have Venus continuing to move through this part of the sky and your ruling planet still in super harmonious placement for you, moving through the sign of Sagittarius. And so as I look at this, on the one hand, it tells me, look, feel good about yourself and great things will come about in the realm of love. And at the same time, the more of an adventure you can make love and understand more deeply the adventures worth going on, worth taking on, the more likely you are to find that love is something that awakens you, enlivens you, and propels you forward. In particular, if you are in an established bond, this can be a time of considering the plans that you have now and refining them together, discussing what it is ultimately that the two of you want to be working towards, and how it is that you can nurture a greater sense of shared values as part of putting the things you need to in place to manifest even bigger and better and more beautiful things in the bigger picture. For those of you who are open to meeting somebody new, it very well could be right now either a connection you made way in the past and forgot about, could very well show up this week, or it could be somebody new, but it looks like there is some connection that has to do with a land far away. So either this is a person you met when you lived in or traveled to a place outside of where you live now, in a different city, possibly even a different country, or these are the types of people that you may be connecting to now. And ultimately it is that sense of possibility, of adventure, of seeing the world differently thanks to where your attractions are taking you, that has a way of making you feel like life is being infused into your life. It's an energy of attraction, it's an energy of awakening, likely to show up for you now and give you a much welcomed jolt, reminding you that there are options and there's lots of fun to be had in the realm of love possibilities. Hello, fabulous Taurus. This week is all about you. It is so much about you because new moon in your sign, super harmonious, super positive new moon in your sign. And it makes you, and really the earth signs in general, but you in particular, yes, very lucky. Lots of luck energy with you now, lots of fresh beginnings, lots of deciding what you're going to carry forward, what you're not, sort of throwing it off, whether you want to call it your shoulders, whether it is just what you don't need to carry into your future, and being fully aware of that, fully appreciative of that, or what it is ultimately that you're now really ready to release a situation, wherever it is that you have felt that you haven't been able to really make the changes that you desire to really feel that much more comfortable with you and that much more a version of yourself that makes you feel strong and makes you feel really good about yourself. That is where that clarity is going to come. That is where the energy starts to shift for you now. And it could happen in a variety of ways, but this is where the seed is planted. This is where it starts. So it could be if you've taken on any kind of habits that you know are keeping you from feeling the best that you can on a physical level, then this is going to be when you may reach out, get some help, talk to your doctor, come across information, start a plan, whatever it is that helps you to feel like the best you, helps you to feel more alive, helps you to feel a greater sense of vitality, particularly on a physical level. But there's also something to be said here about who you know yourself to be, a sense of identity, a sense of truth about you and living that. And wherever it is that you feel there's been a contradiction that you haven't been comfortable with, this is where you'll get honest about that and make some very powerful and beautiful changes that only will make you that much stronger now and in the weeks and months to come. Where it comes to love, Jupiter right now standing still in the sky, giving an even more powerful beam to that new moon in your sign. And this says that love is very much in the air for you in particular. You are, like love-wise, possibly one of the more blessed of the zodiac now, especially this week. And it really is about that romantic connection, that all of a sudden feeling a deep connection with somebody just as you meet them. You know, love at first sight kind of energy, very possible now, very much in the air now. So be open to that. If you're open to meeting someone new, you really don't have to do too much with the sky like this. Just be willing to have fun and something good should show up for you. If you are someone who is in an established bond, keep in mind a couple of things. You're very fertile. There's lots of fertile energy right now, okay? So if you like that, awesome. Go for it. If you're not so much, you know that there are things you can do. Bring in mind, right? That's always a good idea. Bring in your plans, always a good idea. So we've got that fertile energy, but we've also just got heart energy, like wanting to be loved, wanting those moments of sweetness and softness. And thankfully, it looks like they are plentiful to enjoy. Hello, fabulous Gemini. This week, we've got this new moon happening in the sign just before yours, Prepare to have your dreams be super symbolic, super meaningful, and show you the way to all kinds of gains that can be made in the real world, in the practical world at that. So it's really important now. All the air signs really should be paying attention to areas that are a little bit more hidden, a little bit having to do with energy. But for you in particular, it's all about that dream space that you want to be mindful of, because it is in your dreams that you will be shown the way, either to greater wealth, or you will be shown the way to a deeper truth that ultimately allows a change that leads to greater wealth. So pay attention there. But if we put that aside, because you're not always very conscious of that, right? That's the point of dreams, is that it's what's happening on the unconscious that attempts to come up so we can consider it in a symbolic way. Also this week, Jupiter is standing still, gaining power, really in a very potent place, especially as the week ends. Next week will go direct. And so this really is the time when you should notice news or areas of interest around areas of home. So this can be a time when you get some good news surrounding a parent or family of origin, but also having to do with the house, like your living space. And also with this, ultimately this part of the sky, and with Mercury retrograde right now, it's the past, your past in particular, that can be a place of great inspiration. Yes, on a personal level, great healing as well, but it is your past right now that really can be part of how it is, the information, the insights that are trying to come through your life right now that are part of the big breakthroughs and the great prosperity that is set to be had. Where it comes to matters of heart, again, hidden energy. A lot of it is very private. Now keep in mind, in the next few weeks, you are preparing for Venus to enter your sign. That will be a big game changer. But where you do have energy working on your side is with Mars. Mars right now retro in your opposite sign. This can bring, and you add to it Mercury retro in the sign just before yours, this can bring with it, I look at this. Yes, it can bring lovers, love from the past. It can also mean if you're in an established bond, it's almost like I'm seeing an issue coming up again with a partner. It's like, okay, we got to deal with this again. I thought we dealt with this. I thought this was done. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It just means that you have to be more present. But now with with Mars retrograde in your opposite sign, it's almost like having to be present more consciously. What's the best way to be present is part of what's going to come up. Now keep in mind, again, Mercury retrograde, Mars retro in your opposite sign. What this does suggest is that you won't have to, like when I look at this energy, I think to myself, okay, yes, you may have to be more present, but at the same time, the good thing is that you'll know how to be effective. And the good thing is that you'll know where it is that you can detach. You'll know where it is that's yours and what's not. And that's mainly for those of you in an established bond. But those of you open to meeting someone new, I do think that with the very low-key energy and with this Mars retrograde, it does suggest that if you do meet anybody right now, it really could end up being something very different, maybe better. But it could be like if you find yourself having a very strong reaction propelling you to somebody, chances are there's some like sort of deeper triggers being had. And so you may want to give it a little bit of time, because very soon, just give it a few weeks, very soon Mars will leave that opposite sign, Mercury will go direct, and you will get a very different perspective. That doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy yourself, absolutely do, but know that there's more to be revealed. Hello, fabulous Cancer. This week we've got an active sky, an active new moon really in your area of sky that has to do with friendship. So it should be friends and all kinds of social situations asking for your attention now. And this can be great in terms of just keeping you busy, in terms of getting you out and about. And especially with Jupiter in super powerful place, it's like putting you in the right place at the right time. If ever there was a time to get to schmooze events, to get your schmooze on, this would be it. You very well may end up talking to somebody who can have a very positive effect on your life now and really for a long time to come. I don't say that lightly. It's important to meet as many people as possible now. Chances are they will reappear once we get you into the month of June, particularly the later we move into June. Where it comes to love, this new moon is speaking powerfully to Pluto in your opposite sign. What I really love about this energy is that it is saying that it's possible that a friend becomes a lover, or a friend introduces you to someone who could be a more than, a friend, who could be a potential for you. Stay open to the possibility always, of course. But what this does suggest is that a very powerful connection could be had. And particularly if it's one of those very happenstance things where someone introduces you to somebody that you already met before, you already met in the past, that's where, and this is somebody that you've been attracted to before, you thought they were flirting with you before, maybe you met them like really in the past, but you remember them, that's when you really want to pay attention, because it's going to be that type of person where the chance for a love connection becomes that much more likely. Those of you in an established bond, I do think that friends are going to play an important part in how this week is realized in the realm of love. So whether it is being in social situations with that person that you love, or it is wanting that person you love to be more involved and be active in more social things, you're going to want to have fun. And through the process of having fun and doing more social things with your partner, because we can get really comfortable when we've been with somebody for a long time, this should help shake you out of that comfort, but also make you feel that much closer and solidify the bond that much more, thanks to the experiences you garner now. Hello, fabulous Leo. This week we've got this super harmonious new moon happening at the very top of your sky. This is so lovely for you. I think that this is career breakthrough. If you are on the career track, not everybody is, but let's say you are on a track where you're thinking about achieving more, you want a promotion, you want even a new job, you want to knock an interview or an audition out of the park. This is the type of celestial support that is just going to work tremendously in your favor. And it's really going to begin a process that will only lead to bigger and better places as we get into the later part of June. So my advice would be, as I look at the sky, make sure you are casting your net wide. Apply for those jobs, be considered for those auditions, go to those open casting calls if that is, the line of work you're in, or whatever kind of, whether you work creatively, whether you work administratively or whatever. This is the time to connect to higher ups. This is the time to pay attention to what could be available to you. Yes, Mercury is retrograde here again. So if it's something that is another shot, okay, if this is a second interview, if this is a company or a position that you went for before and it didn't work out before, then you've got that much more good luck to make it happen this time for you. And ultimately, what I love about this new moon is it's just happiness. It's happiness and achievement and a real feeling of success and a real feeling of prosperity as well. In fact, the prosperity factor is only going to grow in the weeks to come. Those of you not on the career track at all, if you're not even thinking like that, then this is more about a sense of life purpose, a sense of direction, and that itself opening up to you and being solidified. Just feeling a real sense of direction and realizing how much more there is to do and how much more that you have to look forward to in this life. In no means are you done. There's still lots more to do. Where it comes to matters of love, matters of heart, I really like this sky because there's lots of very passionate energy, lots of very sultry energy at that. And I think if you're in an established bond, it will speak to you that much more strongly, where it's going to be about wanting to strengthen this, wanting to clarify a joint sense of mission, a joint sense of identity and direction with greater purpose and greater passion as well. Those of you who are open to meeting someone new, it is those people who are either, like the ancients would say, older than yourself. But I think of it more like people who have an energy that is more mature, people who have an energy of achievement, of success, of respect. Those are the kinds who very likely are going to capture your attention and also you may find attracting into your life now. Hello, fabulous Virgo. This week we've got this super harmonious new moon playing out, and this new moon is happening in fellow Earth sign, Taurus, and this is happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with the whole world opening up to you, this big adventure showing up, and I think it will be so much fun. It'll be super fun for you, and really this is about making plans not only for your future, but also thinking about what is it that you envision for yourself. What experiences would you like to have? What credentials would you like to have? This also is just really supportive if you're a student in higher education. If you're involved in any legal matters, they should go tremendously well now. In fact, I see you being delighted. So if there's anything that's sort of been hanging in the air, you've been wondering what's going on, this would be the time to call your lawyer. This would be time to try to make something happen so that you feel like you can utilize the very positive energy with you now. And if you've been thinking about filing something or being involved in any kind of legal process or political process at that, you've got lots of cosmic support to make it be something very successful. What I also really like about this week for you is that there is a reconsideration of what you always thought to be true. And that's really valuable because it helps to ensure that your sense of what is right is current with what you have learned. And that is tremendously valuable and can have a positive effect on just about every area of life. Where it comes to love, I think that there's lots of romantic energy to be had, really for all the earth signs out there, but for you in particular, Jupiter right now standing still, slowing to a halt in your sign, and will next week go direct. This can bring all kinds of good news, lucky options, vibes, just attraction factor for you, magnified now, and really feeling like it's gaining momentum in once we get into next week. So now is when Jupiter is particularly strong. So pay attention to what's taking place in your life. People you attract now could really show you a whole other way to see the world and a whole other way to be, and in some way can be part of you committing to knowing more than you did before, and just can bring a greater optimistic spirit into your life. And if you are in an established bond, this is a time when you should feel especially close. It should start to feel like you're finally feeling a greater sense of mutual understanding, and you feel like your partner is really with you and really knows you, and you're feeling ready to move ahead in matters that matter to the two of you most. Hello, fabulous Libra. This week we've got this super beautiful new moon happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with other people's money, as it's called. Grants, loans, bursaries, insurance payments, tax returns. This is so sweet, so lucky, so beautiful for you. I think that you can just grab this moment and run with it in the best possible sense. And I think that it is this that will allow you to recognize where it is that all types of resources may be available to you. Some of them will be financial, very possibly a chunk of money could find you now. Some of them may be emotional support could show up for you. And if you're engaged in any kind of process of therapy, this can be a time of a really lovely breakthrough. It tends to happen when you're engaged in a process of therapy. You have these moments where it's like 20 sessions in one. You've taken this huge leap forward that very well could take place for you now. So lots of really good energy to be had, lots of transformative, positive gains, positive growth energy to be had, facing some truths that allow you to feel that much richer, but prosperity vibe all around. Where it comes to love, this sky is all about the real experience, the meaningful moment. If you're in an established bond, this is where some secrets, you may be the one who wants to share something that maybe you hadn't shared before, or it could be your partner, but ultimately it looks like a really positive thing, like it brings you that much closer. The exception is a small percentage of you, if you know you've been in a relationship where you've tried to break up with this person lots of different times before, this is where you find peace with it and are able to actually do that. That is possible with this guy as well. But that will only be if this is something you've done before. If you're like one of those makeup breakup type of things, this is where you get that deeper sense of clarity of what changed, where it is that you're ready to start fresh. And then that is when it would apply. So just a small percentage of you out there. And those of you open to meeting someone new, I mean, someone who comes into your life now could end up being like, you know, as they say, a real core shaker, somebody who just seems to reach into you has a real transformative effect on your life. Somebody that it would not be easy to forget. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. This week we've got this new moon in your opposite sign. If anyone's going to be blessed by love this week, I mean, it really is you. Yes, there's romantic vibes for a lot of signs out there, but you really are front and center of that. When there's a new moon in your opposite sign, stuff is happening in love and partnerships, without a doubt. You're learning something, you're realizing something, you're experiencing something, a new person shows up. Mercury Retrograde is happening in your opposite sign as well. So that new person might be somebody that you knew in the past, that you dated in the past as well. But more than that, because of the partnership vibe, it very likely is not going to be that, oh, you just kind of knew them or you just kind of dated them. But if it is someone from the past, then it is going to be somebody that there would have been a sense of a partnership or connection with before. But regardless, someone new, someone different. If it's somebody new, chances are that once Mercury goes direct, it's going to end up being something way more positive than you realize now. The universe wants you to see yourself in new eyes and a new lens, thanks to love and where it is that love takes you and where it is that your heart takes you. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I think that the sky blesses you tremendously to understand love, to know where you are in love, and to have a commitment to starting fresh in matters of love, whether it is with the love that you have. It could be great news that comes to you through a partner, or it could be someone new that shows up now who facilitates and is part of bringing even greater blessings into your life in the fuller picture. Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. This week we've got all this positive energy taking place for you in a part of the sky that has to do with the workplace. It's the workplace that is lit up now, and it is there that some of your greatest blessings, advancements are going to come. So whether this is actual, and very likely will be actual tangible progress. So career progress can be had with the super strong Jupiter standing still in the sky. That certainly can be had. Financial progress can be had with Pluto speaking in supreme harmony with this new moon, as I spoke of in the introduction. Very possible now. And so this is essentially the change in the workplace that leads to these other advancements. So it's important to focus on the work that you're doing. The other part of this is you could get a new job, but it would very much be based on what it is that you can do and what you're good at doing and what you've proven that you're good at doing. When I look at the sky for you, when it comes to matters of heart, I think about how we have Mercury retrograde in the same part of the sky. Even with all its blessings, Mercury retrograde is there. And Mercury is the ruler of your opposite sign. So what happens with Mercury tends to speak to what's happening on a level of love for you as well. When I look at this, a few things come to mind. One is, if there have been, sort of feeling like you're missing each other, like schedules are sort of going in different directions, if you're in an established bond, this is where at the very least you're going to try something to make it work, or you're going to want to try and incorporate this person that you love more fully in some way into your life. The other thing though with this, if you're open to meeting someone new, the office romance possible with this, but I would be really cautious because Mercury's retro. So unless this is somebody that you have dated before and that you've worked with before, or whether or not you've worked with them before, but they show up in your workplace, then then the sky looks more supportive. But if this is somebody that you've been interested in and now you're thinking about sort of, crossing that line, just keep in mind that once Mercury goes direct, things could end up very differently. So my advice would be to pace yourself, okay? And just check in with yourself. As long as you're doing that, you cannot make a mistake. As long as you're being conscious, as long as you're choosing consciously, you can be at peace with whatever it is that you decide. Hello, fabulous Capricorn. This week we've got this active sky playing out, and for you, this new moon in super harmonious fellow earth sign Taurus, speaking with Pluto in your sign, speaking with Jupiter, and all of this says, like, really the earth signs are so lucky this week, but I think that all signs out there, of course, can benefit from this vibe. For you in particular, this particular new moon is happening in a part of the sky that has to do with a few different things, but one of those things is luck, like just the windfall kind of energy. So if there ever was a time to buy a lottery ticket, depending on where you are on the planet, right between the 5th and the 7th, right around that time span, I would encourage you, if you're being called to make a bet, to put down, a quarter or something, put down $1, and it's not a big deal for you to do so, then you may want to do that because you've got lots of lucky energy with you with this particular new moon happening. Also, this part of the sky has to do with new love, new romance. It has to do with your perception and your experiences in love. And if you are open to meeting someone new, that is where the energy of this new moon can be especially lucky for you, can bring us special blessings where it comes to flirting. So make sure you are open to getting your flirt on. Now, where it comes to dating somebody, that is where not only do you have the luck, but also because of Mercury retrograde, the chance for some miscommunication and misunderstandings can happen. But we've got this new moon, and it's so positively speaking that it just suggests to me that if something should come up, if there is any uncertainty, it just looks like things are working out in such a positive way. So you want to stay connected to that, and you want to stay nurturing that, because there's so much cosmic support now to really nurture love with someone either brand new or someone that you're just getting to know. But give people the benefit of the doubt. And as I like to say, like when Mercury's retro in this part of the sky, you're just dating someone, then you break up or you change your mind, chances are you're going to change your mind again. Chances are you won't stay broken up. So give them the benefit of the doubt. Things can go along that much more smoothly at that. If you're in an established bond, lots of very loving energy in the air now, lots of flirty energy with this new moon as well. And there are certainly a whole lot of ways to take full advantage of that in an established bond and to enjoy such a romantic time. Hello, fabulous Aquarius. This week we've got this beautiful sky, an active sky at that. And we've got this new moon happening at the very bottom of your sky. This has to do with your roots. It has to do with home. It has to do with feeling like you're standing on solid ground. And when I see this, it does suggest that all areas of home can go exceptionally well for you. Yes, Mercury is retrograde, and this can work to your advantage if you put an offer on a home before, you tried to move somewhere before, it wasn't working out. This is where that could come back around, where they could come back to you and say, you know what, you made an offer before, you still interested in making another offer? Then if that's the case, it can go exceptionally well for you now. And as I look at the sky, it could also be if any repairs need to happen, if they've been delayed, this new moon can help things come together for you really nicely. And the repairs that take place now are those that will last, that will get to the core of the issue. So if you've been waiting to do repairs, use this new moon energy to make that happen. For those of you, others of you out there, this can be good news where it comes to matters of family of origin, and particularly your parents. So that should be really nice all around. Where it comes to matters of heart, matters of love, home is where the heart is. So if you are in an established bond, I'm just seeing lots of quiet time, lots of time snuggling, and that's valuable too, but it seems like that's where you're going to want to be most, just in the comfort of your partner's arms, which can be a very sweet place. For those of you who are open to meeting somebody new, very likely anyone that shows up now would be somebody who has a connection to home. So this could be somebody, whatever you identify as home, right? Because that's something that we each choose for ourselves, particularly in our modern world. And this is a person that you would identify as from where you're from, or that you share a home with, whether that's a neighborhood or an ethnicity or a country or a whole lot of things. It would be that. And it looks like all this cosmic support makes for a very strong and very meaningful meeting. Hello, fabulous Pisces. This week we've got this beautiful, beautiful new moon happening, and it's happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with your neighborhood, your neighbors, your cousins, and your siblings. So cousins, siblings can bring great news now, facilitate prosperity for you now, and just overall happiness for you. If they're trying to set you up, if you're open to meeting someone new and they're trying to set you up, go. It might not hurt to actually listen this time. And also, as I said, neighbors and neighborhoods. So you want to make sure that you are super busy now. Make sure you're active. Make sure you're doing your own errands and you're, not letting things sort of slag behind, but that you're staying current. If there are any errands that you know that you've been meaning to do for a while, do them now this week because of all the cosmic support, to have it actually end up being like a lot of things coming together in a synchronistic happenstance kind of way to go very well and very much to your advantage. I absolutely love this sky because it does suggest that there is a lot that is coming together now in beautiful ways for you. And it is going to be in those moments as you're just running around doing your thing in the area in which you live, where really great things can happen. You can meet the right person who just ends up having a sweeping positive effect on your life, whether it's a love connection or a business connection or an actual tangible opportunity to create greater prosperity for yourself, or just some wisdom, talking to somebody and they give you some information that just changes things for you very much for the better. Very likely a conversation that you have now is one that you will refer to, one that will positively impact you for months, if not years to come. So it is a good time for you to take that moment to say hi to neighbors and hi to other people around you, because it is in those small moments that all kinds of good things could open up for you. Those of you in an established bond, I'm just seeing chattiness, like lots of needs to talk, lots of need to want to talk about what's in your heart, what's in your mind, wanting to talk about just about everything, whether it is heart, but it also could just be ideas and wanting to spend like moments where you're considering different ideas and different perceptions and discussing different things that maybe on the surface don't seem necessarily that meaningful, but actually are part of what enriches your life with this person. Well, thank you so much to all signs out there. It'll be a great week. Enjoy. Visit Amazon.com to learn about my book, Astrology, realized in English and Spanish, and shop my website, NadiyaShah.com, for exclusive The Universe is Wise and Loving merchandise and my signature jewelry line, Astro Fabulous Jewelry. Enjoy.